Now, the high school basketball season is right around the corner. We'll preview all 6 high schools next on Conversation. And welcome to Conversations this week. And before too many weeks go by, it'll be high school basketball season. Before you know it, we'll preview all 6 schools, both girls and boys, on Conversations this week. And we now preview Arlington High. We'll turn to Natasha Newsome, coaching the Lady Colts in year number 3. And Natasha, last year you started out winning 4 of the first 6 games. It was a good start for the Lady Colts, and I'm sure that is on your mind this year to try to get off to a good start.
Definitely on my mind to try to get off to a good start this year. We've got a lot of the nucleus of our team back, so we're really excited, and we believe we can start off this year just as good as we did last.
You have the Salsa sisters returning, both Nicole and Sierra, and obviously going to be a vital role this year.
Yes, both of those girls, they were pivotal last year in our season, both of them starters, and I expect them this year to come out and do the same. We'll also be adding another Salsa sister to the team this year. I believe she'll do well, too.
So you have a trio to keep up with.
A trio to keep up with this year.
What excites you about this team, or is it too early to tell, number one, playing shape, and number two, what kind of three-point shooters you have, and who's going to run the point, and all the things that you really have to think about in October?
Right now, I think we're in really good shape. The girls worked really hard over the summer and kept good conditioning. This year, I'm not sure yet who we're going to have running the point guard position, but our shooters this year, we have Bailey Trevino, who is an amazing three-point shooter, Nicole Saucer, she is another threat from the outside, Melinda Platt, she is also a threat. So we have a lot of shooters out there that I believe this season will help us out.
You only lost one senior. Obviously, some spots are up for grabs, and there's some battles to be taking place in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure.
We do. We have a lot of battles coming up. We have some kids that I'm expecting to step up this year. They've had a year to grow. Some that did not play as much last year that I'm expecting to have good roles this year. Rachel Tippins was a freshman last year who didn't see a whole lot of playing time, but this year I'm expecting her to get in there and give us a good mix.
What is your first tournament for the Lady Colts, and are there any new tournament stops this year?
We're going to the same 3 tournaments we went to last year. We'll start out at the Grand Prairie tournament. Then over the Christmas break, we go to Boswell, and then we have another tournament in Ennis that we'll be attending.
All right. Good luck to you and the Lady Colts this year.
Thank you.
Paul Williams coaches the guys. He's in his 3rd year. And, Coach, you lost the brunt of a lot of seniors scoring, well, a lot of scoring were among the seniors last year. The challenge in filling those spots?
Well, the challenges, those guys were great. Chris Baird and Brunswick Bell can't be replaced. We can just try to fill that gap with just more of a team style versus 2 guys that just kind of did the brunt of the work. And plan on doing it with Sean Steele, who was a part-time starter, started maybe 15 of the 30 games. We have a new transfer in, Tyron Mitz, who he's a great player. He'll really help us at the point guard position. And Mano Vayachulala, who's a part-time starter. So we have some guys coming back, and we have a good mix. We'll be very athletic and long, and see what we can do.
Losing so many seniors, Coach, does the team concept change, or what you tried to put in place 3 years ago? I mean, how are things playing out now?
Well, now it has to be more of a team-oriented style of play, you know, versus last year where we had 2 guys that could take on a lot of the pressure, and I could rely heavily on them. So I try to spread out the pressure.
Obviously, the guys know how competitive this district is, both night in and night out, but they shouldn't be told that.
Yes. So we'll have a chance. We'll have a chance this year.
All right. What about your tournaments for the Colts?
We open up with the Keller ISD tournament, and then we're going to Arlington Classic and then Alito. So same 3 tournaments as last year.
Too early to tell what kind of playing shape the guys are in, or really have you had an ear to the ground over the last couple of months?
I've had, they'll be pretty good. We're in pretty good shape. We'll be a little bit more athletic than last year. We'll be able to get up and run, get out and run a little bit more than last year. So it'll be interesting to see.
How do you size up the district? How do you see things playing out?
Well, obviously I think North Crowley is the best team, and everyone else has a chance. So it's going to be a battle night in and night out.
That seems to be the general consensus. Coach, good luck to you. And Coach, always good to see you and follow the Colts this year.
All right, thank you.
We now preview the Lady Vols of Arlington Bowie. Kelly Carruthers is the head coach for the girls in year number 5. They are the defending district champions, finished 13-1 last year, overall at 28-7. The Lady Vols advanced 2 rounds before losing to El Paso El Dorado 62-57. And Coach, that particular game, what failed to happen? What were the final 5 minutes like for you? Because it was pretty tight up to that point.
It was. We just didn't play for the full 32 minutes. We kind of thought that the game was over before it really was, and just tried to do our own thing, and it didn't work out for us in the end. So,
you lost your point guard from last year, Bria DeGrate.
Yes.
Who has to fill that need?
Malay McQueen, she's a freshman coming in from Owsley, and she's going to give us some good minutes.
It's kind of a different collective group of girls this year. You've always had good team speed.
Yes.
Will that be evident again?
Oh, absolutely. We are guard heavy this year. Don't have too many post players. I have one post, 6'4", Divine Indu, and everybody else can play in the perimeter, so we'll be pretty fast again.
An honor for you, Coach, this Team USA trials. Talk a little bit about that back in May, I believe it was.
Yes, I was invited to be one of the 4 court coaches to attend the USA trials, and it was a great experience, a great opportunity. Got to see some of the best basketball players around the world. 160 girls tried out and only 12 made it, but it was a great experience. I'm looking forward to it.
Were you impressed how good everybody is from top to bottom?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the size, the finesse of the players, and to be so young, because it was 16 and under. And so it was some good basketball.
You've always had good three-point shooters. Anyone you feel comfortable with this year?
Pretty much all my guards can shoot. Malay all the way down to Jasmine Robinson. She's a returning sophomore. She can nail down the 3. Jay Cage as well as Deandra Credit. So I have a lot of kids that can knock down the 3. So,
what is your first tournament of the season?
We have Colleyville Heritage the second week in November, and then we go out to Allen again, and then we'll have Mansfield Rotary over Christmas.
All right. Well, good luck to you and the Lady Vols this year.
Thank you.
Alan Gratts coaches the Bowie Volunteers. Last year, Bowie finished second place in the district with a record of 11-3, overall 25-10. Coach Gratts is in his 16th year. You advanced 3 rounds. Expectations this year, Coach?
Well, expectation-wise, we're always, our first goal is always to make the playoffs. Once we get that opportunity, or once we get far enough into district where we can clinch a playoff spot, then it's time to try to win a district title. And from there, once you make that 3rd season into the playoffs, you're trying to advance as far as you can advance. So, I mean, the number of years that I've been there, we've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of success going deep into the playoffs. So nothing has really changed for us this year.
Late in the season, Arlington beat you by a point, 52-51. Is that the game that kind of really got you going, headed towards the playoffs?
Well, that was a game that kind of put us in a bind, and not put us in a bind, but it kind of put a question mark towards our team because we had been undefeated at home. We hadn't lost a game all year at home, and it was one of those games that I think we learned a lot from it. We learned that if we don't come out and play and be ready to play every night, that we can lose a game at home, and I think it did change some things because after that loss, we had a big Sam Houston loss too over at their place. And after those 2 losses, things kind of changed for us, and we really got more into a playoff mode then.
You have the sophomore of the year, Donovan Davenport. How vital is he for you?
Well, he's going to be big for us. I just hope he can stay healthy through the football season. So it's not going to benefit a whole lot if he comes out of football banged up. But we have very high expectations for Donovan, and we expect for him to be one of our leading scorers this year.
Coach, of your starting 5 last season, you lost 3 seniors. Who fills the shoes for those guys?
I think JT Brown, he's probably going to be one of our point guards this year. Richard Robinson he's going to have to help us out a lot at the point. Kyler Edwards, who was a sophomore this year, is a great talent. I think that he could possibly be our best scorer for us this year. So, you know, we've got some really good pieces that we can plug in and try to keep the tradition that we've got going.
How do you see the district race?
I think it's probably going to be about like it's been the past 3 or 4 years. I think it's going to come down between us, North Crowley. I really don't know what Lamar is going to have back this year, or really what Martin's going to have, since Martin's got a new coach as well. So it's going to be interesting, but you know, we're expected to finish somewhere up at the top. And
finally, Coach, your first tournament.
We have the Arlington Classic the first weekend of December. And then after that, we go to a Houston tournament, and then we got the Christmas tournament in Fort Worth.
Coach, good luck to the girls, and Alan, good luck to the boys this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We now move on to Lamar. We'll talk Lady Viking basketball first. Head coach Errin Levels is in her 7th year. The Lady Vikings last year finished 8-6 in district play, 16-16 overall. And Coach, it came down to the last couple of games as to whether you were going to qualify for the playoffs. And those were kind of a nail-biting experiences.
Yes, we did. The last 3 games, I believe, were all lost within a 4 points or less games, and the girls worked hard. It came down to free throws and mental mistakes down the stretch, and I'm hoping that this year we've grown from those mistakes and we won't have so many close games.
But you made it to postseason. You played Midland, lost by 5 points. What did you take away from that, and how much of an incentive do you think that is for the juniors coming up?
You know, we got down to Midland. I felt like they were prepared to play the game. We weren't quite ready for the spotlight, I believe. The pressure got to us, all the people. But I think that since we have that under our belt buckle, that we'll be ready to really compete this year. And hopefully, you know, the first round will just be a stepping stone for us, and we can make it further this season.
Looking back, Coach, it was a record-setting year. Desiree Hampton became the all-time leading scorer. She had some great games for you.
She did. Desiree's a good player. We definitely will miss her in the program. I think that she did a great job setting the tone as far as leadership and teaching the younger kids what it takes to be successful. And I hope that we can represent her well this season, that she left a good trademark and we can move forward with that.
You lost 2 seniors. How many spots are open right now?
Actually, we lost 2 seniors. I have 7 returners. I'll add 3 new players to the team and try to carry 10 this year.
How about your tournament schedule, and which one may be more exciting than the other?
We pretty much play 3 competitive tournaments. The first one, we go out to Flower Mound, and in the past there we've faced Cedar Hill. We'll go out to the Cowtown in Fort Worth, where I'll face DeSoto possibly, and Trimble Tech. And then I'll come out to the Rotary. Well, we all know the Rotary is only the best of the best there, and 3 good tournaments.
Who's your 1-2 punch this year, scoring-wise?
I believe I'm going to depend on my point guard, Jada Washington. She made first-team All-District last year, and she averaged about 8 points last year. I'm expecting her to pick it up to about 10 to 12 range. And then my post girl, Ariana, last year, she only averaged 6 points, but I'm hoping I can get 10 out of her. And then the younger ones, I hope they can pitch in 6 and 8 here and there.
You have a team slogan or a team motto this year?
You know, we're just trying to go hard. Every day, every play.
That could qualify for every year.
That's right.
All right, head coach Zach Burks for the Lamar Vikings is in his 7th year. The Vikings last year finished 9-5 in the district, good enough for 3rd place, 18-13 overall. And Coach, you went to postseason, lost in overtime by a point. Does that kind of sting a little bit still?
It does. It does sting because I know that it just came down to defensive rebound here, a turnover here, make a free throw. Just little things. And I try to tell the guys all the time, don't let the little things, not doing the little things, grow into big things and cost you. And it cost us. It was a hard fought battle. We got down early. We fought. We got back, came back, and like I said, it was just a turnover, and they get possession, they go down and score, and you know, ball game.
Yeah, 51-50 that game played in Brownwood. How was the atmosphere there?
Oh, it was great. Nice facilities. Everything was great. Great hospitality. So that's, you know, I you know, thank them and appreciate them having us.
Coach, you have to replace some senior leadership. Who has to step up and maybe set the table this year?
Well, I'm counting on returner. He's a senior this year, Jamal Gray. He's been in the program, you know, 4 years, and so I'm expecting a lot out of him. And I have a junior, Cecil Roberts, who you know, in spots started a little bit, a couple, you know, starts last year, and so I'm really expecting him to step up. He and Jamal to kind of carry the load, and really Andrew Gwynn, point guard, didn't get that much playing time. He did get some, but he's gonna be thrown in there this year, and I'm expecting a lot out of him. Run the ball club, you know, get everybody involved, minimize the turnovers. So it's a big void to fill.
And once football season is over, you'll have another player.
Yes, I get Bryce Noeltree back, and that'll help me as far as just having somebody come in there and do the dirty work, be physical and rebound. So that'll help out a lot.
How about your tournament schedule?
We start. Oh God, we start with Mansfield, the Spring Creek tournament, which is a very stout tournament, and so we won the consolation bracket last year, which was, you know, that was enough, you know, right there. We'll go to Cedar Hills Lions Club tournament, which is another big time tournament, and then we'll finish over the Christmas break over Fort Worth Coca-Cola's tournament.
I know it's early, Coach, but how do you see the district race shaping up?
Oh, night in, night out, it's gonna be a dogfight. I mean, it is what it is. So there are no gimmies, and it's just a fight every night.
Fundamentally, what's the main thing you're trying to get over right now before the season opener? Any one thing you're concentrating on or trying to get across to the team?
Well, I just want the guys to, you know, come out and practice and play, you know, practice hard. You know, we need to set a tone and practice first, and then let that carry over into the game. So just come out every day, practice hard, be focused. You know, the little time that we're there on the floor, you know, let me have your attention, and then once it's over, you know, you can laugh, joke, and all that, and be silly. But you know, this team needs to, you know, they need to be focused, and they need to pay attention to all the details. And so, you know, my motto, and I tell them every day, you know, just do the little things, and I tell them, don't be that teammate, you know, to not box out and get the rebound, or turn the ball over, miss a free throw, don't set a screen, and a little bit of stuff like that. So, yeah.
Coach, good luck to the Vikings. Errin, good luck to the ladies this year. We'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of months.
Thank you.
We now preview Martin High School. We'll turn to Brooke Brittain in her 6th year. The Lady Warriors last year finishing 2nd place in the district with a record of 12-2. Advanced 2 rounds in postseason overall at 20-11. Coach, you had a good season overall. When you look back and assess last year, how would you look at it?
Good team unity, you know, staying committed to the goal, and I'm really proud of my kids from last year, but we're returning 7 kids, and with those 7, we've got high expectations and high hopes for this year as well.
You handed Bowie their only loss, and I know you had to feel good about that.
Yeah, we did. That was our own, first time I've ever beaten them for me at Martin, and so for all of my kids in the program, that was their first win against Bowie, and so that was a big one for us.
Coach, your read and react system, you have the girls this year that can pick that up?
Absolutely. We've been running it for a while now, trying to implement it from the junior high up, and so it's starting to spread that they get it earlier, which, you know, really pays dividends towards the end of the season as we clean it up and have all these layers and habits built in. So it's been really good for us.
You've always had good 3-point shooters, and you have an abundance of girls this year that can fire it up from 20 feet and beyond.
Yeah, a lot of kids that have put in a lot of work in the gym, so it's going to be key for us to know when to take those shots, and even though they can all shoot well, like, you know, when it's appropriate for which player to take those shots and kind of finding their own role. That's what takes a little time to work out, but I'm confident that throughout the season we'll get that done.
All right, what about your tournament schedule this year?
We've returned to, Midwestern State University for the Fantasy of Lights tournament. We go to the Lions Club tournament and then the big Christmas tournament in Mansfield.
That's 3 good ones, really good tournaments.
Yeah.
The district race this year, things should play out unexpected as they always do.
It's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a battle in 4-6A, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, Brooke, good luck to the Lady Warriors.
Thank you.
The Martin guys this year are guided by a new coach, Clint Schnell, who comes from Coppell, was an assistant at Coppell. And Coach, give us the circumstances leading up to you taking the job at Martin. How did that all come about?
It kind of came out a little bit late in the year. I didn't get hired until about the middle of June, and had an interview and did the research on my own about Martin and decided that was a program I thought I could do some special things with, and the system that I've run before and been a part of would fit well with them. So I was excited about the opportunity to come there.
And that system would be?
We're going to be a motion-based team. We'll run a lot of pressure man defense and try to get after people.
Martin made the playoffs last year, finished 8-6. They advanced one round, losing to El Paso Eastwood by 3 points. Your perception of Martin basketball in the past, either by watching them during a tournament or other games?
They've always been a very successful program. Playoffs is an expectation. Going well deep into the playoffs is an expectation. They've put several D1 players and other players into college. They're an aggressive team. They're an athletic team. They've always played a competitive schedule. That's the past history of what I've known about Martin.
On the boys' side, North Crowley just outstanding last year. Too early to get a read on how teams may play out this season?
I would have to say North Crowley's probably top end of the district, but the whole district's going to be pretty competitive. I think week in and week out you're going to have a game each week that you're going to go in battle and be ready to play against. And even our non-district schedule coming into district is going to get us ready for that. We play a lot of tough teams in non-district to get us ready. So.
You have the newcomer of the year returning, and Jalen Patillo. How important might he be this year?
He's going to be a significant part of what we do. Jalen, super athletic kid, shoots the mid-range jumper really well. Nice inside game. He was kind of thrown to the fire last year is the way I understood it, and hopefully his experience will make him a better player coming in for us this year.
Getting off to a good start is always paramount. I mean, all is not lost if you do not win, say, 3 of the first 6. But obviously you'd like to get off to a good start.
Absolutely, a good start builds morale, gets things going, especially with the new program coming in. You want those kids to believe in what you're doing, and success early helps them do that. At the same time, I think this group of guys I've got coming back is going to have great senior leadership. They felt like they could have been better than they were even last year with their playoff run, and they're coming into it wanting to win games early.
Coach, what's the hardest part about taking over a new team, obviously getting used to a new school, but what's the hardest part about the transition?
I'd say probably the hardest part is getting to know your players and building that relationship with them and developing the trust with them and the loyalty to them. Their previous coach they had a good relationship with and liked a whole lot, but at the same time they understand that I'm new with a new system and new way of doing things, and just getting them to buy into that and trust in it, it's probably the biggest challenge.
Are you familiar with some of the Martin basketball history and some of the players that came through there?
I know of a few of them, yes, sir. Miles Garrett, Nick Babb, a few of those guys I've heard before.
All right, should be interesting, Coach. Welcome to the district. Brooke, good luck to you this year. We now preview Sam Houston High School. The girls are coached by Tiffany Barlow in her 5th year. And Coach, I know last season, does it seem like 5 years already? I know that last season losing Tierra Crane early, it really kind of hurt your squad.
Yeah, it did. She was a senior powerhouse, and you know, not having her, it kind of hurt us in the paint.
How do you feel about your squad this year, or is it too early to kind of get a feel?
I'd say we're young. You know, I got a lot of youngsters coming up. I'll only have 2 seniors, and 1 is still in volleyball. So
that's the problem sometimes with overlapping sports. You kind of have to wait and see. You have the big girl back underneath, Jovita Cortez,
yes,
at 6'5".
Yes.
You're going to have to depend on her a lot this year, right?
We are, and you know, what we've told her is that, you know, we just want her to do what she's been doing and be a big presence inside the paint and be a leader where she needs to lead. So that's what we're looking for.
Who else are you counting on?
My junior guard, Sierra Green. She's been big for us. She's really stepped it up. And right now I'm really looking for a guard. You know, I'm trying to figure out who's going to be able to handle that ball.
What about the Lady Texans as far as tournaments, and what would be the first one that you played?
We are headed to Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie holds one at the very beginning, kind of gives us an idea and gives the kids a good chance to see, you know, where we are and what we really need to add quickly.
Short trip, and
Yeah.
yeah. You told me last year, Coach, that the girls really had to understand what it takes in the fourth quarter to finish strong, and it's so hard in this district, night in and night out. Is that still one of your hallmark preaching?
Yes, it is, because we start great. We start great, and one of our key things last year was not finishing. But this year, what I've worked on a lot was mental. So we've been doing a lot of mental training off the court so that we can be mentally strong on the court.
All right. Should be an exciting year, Coach. Good luck. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Chris LeGrand coaches the Sam Houston Texans. Sam just barely missed the playoffs last year, finishing 6-8. Chris is in his fourth year. And what didn't happen down the stretch for you, Chris?
I think, like Coach Barlow just mentioned, I think it came down to our mental toughness. I'm not going to say we ran out of gas, but we definitely found ourselves in a new position, unfamiliar territory. And I think this year, due to that experience, I think we'll be okay. The guys will be able to draw back from it. But as Coach Barlow said, we're working on that mental toughness as well.
Now, you beat Bowie once, and you could have beaten Bowie twice last year.
Yes, sir.
Had you won that other game, that could have made all the difference.
That's right, and I can say that about probably another Pascal and Arlington High as well. It was just a fine line between us. You know, those games, all those district games are super competitive, and it comes down to the fourth quarter, who executes and who finishes the strongest.
How about your team speed, and how many spots do you have open this year?
We look a lot like we did last year, but we lost 8 seniors, so it's not even like we're picking up where we left off. We're pretty much starting all over. Our underclassmen are great. We have some high-character kids that are really going to step in and be a big part of this year.
Coach, you do have Marco Washington returning, and he can be a scoring machine.
That's right. That's right. Yes, he's been working very hard. He had a great summer, and he's having a great fall. We're really looking to him to lead us this year. Yep, he's put himself in position to have a great upside.
How about your tournament schedule, Coach? Where do you first play?
We'll go to, of course, we'll have the Arlington Classic. We'll go to Cedar Hill, and then we'll finish after Christmas in Aledo.
That's always a good tournament.
Yeah, it is. It's super competitive. It's a good tournament for us.
How do you see the district race shaping up, or is it too early to get a read on things?
I see it, the usual suspects. I think Pascal's going to be strong this year. I think they've picked up a few players, and they have a great program, but I think our Bowie and North Crowley will be our strongest team. The traditional teams will be up there. So the bottom half is wide open again for that last spot.
Like the girls, it really doesn't make any difference. A Tuesday game can be so-so, a Friday game can be a war, or just vice versa.
That's right. Any given night, exactly. Anybody can beat anybody. I think everybody respects everybody, and it's pretty even, pretty even.
Coach, good luck, and we'll look forward to seeing Sam Houston this year.
Thank you.
We'll now preview Seguin High School, and we'll turn to Courtney Phillips, now in her 12th year. Lady Cougs last year winning the district with a record of 14-2, overall 29-8, advancing 5 rounds. And Courtney, had you beaten Brian Adams, do you think you could have gone all the way last year?
I've always told my kids, I think if we ever get there, I think we have a really good shot. But it would have been tough. I mean, Canyon has multiple state championships, and they're solid. We had already played them and only lost by 6 in the Rotary, so I think it would have been a good matchup. But I hope if we ever get there, we'll get one. Yeah. So
you have to replace Allery Mays and Laura McGowan, and that's not an easy task.
definitely not easy. They both went Division I. And, but we have a good solid group coming back. We lost 6 seniors. We had 6 juniors on the team. They've all moved up to be seniors. And then we're filling in with a couple of juniors and 4 freshmen. So we'll see what we have. But we're excited and start rolling here in 2 weeks. So
going that deep last year in the playoffs, do the juniors now know what it takes to take maybe another level up?
I think most definitely. I think they knew what it required to get us there, and they're helping slowly but surely bring the younger kids along and just kind of letting them know in the weight room what needs to be done, what's expected in the classroom. You know, just those type of things that you can tell them, but it's a little different coming from a teammate and for somebody that's been experienced.
How do you size up District 14 5A this year?
It's going to be tough. Summit's going to be a lot better. Timberview was young, and they went to regional quarterfinals. Waxahachie barely missed it, and then of course Legacy too, and they all have returners. So it's going to be tough. Lancaster has a new coach, so don't know what they're going to look like. But I think everybody's going to be better, and I hope we can, you know, give them a good run for the money.
Of the tournaments that you take part in this year, which one really excites you, or do all of them really?
We're going to all new tournaments. We're going back to McAllen. We try to do that every other year to get some good exposure, especially for our young kids, because we're guaranteed 6 games. It's a 72-team tournament, so we're excited about that. And then we're actually going to be out of the Rotary this year because of all the district opponents that are in there. So we're going to go to Dallas ISD to the Coca-Cola Classic this year. And then we're going to try out the Cowtown too. So we're going to come up against some good competition, but it's all going to be new. So we're excited.
All right, Coach, good luck to the Lady Cougs.
Thank you.
Bobby Thigpen coaches the Cougars of Arlington Seguin. Last year, 8-8 overall in the district, and just fell 1 game short of making the playoffs. And Coach, your expectations this year, and if you could maybe reflect on the second half of the season last year.
Well, second half of the season last year, we had an injury that kind of cost us possibly a couple games, but you know, and it was getting down the stretch. We played really well second half of district, and the team really came together and made a strong push for the playoffs. And it was just unfortunate we didn't get in. You know.
Not to make excuses, but the injuries, I mean, they do
they
kill
happen.
sometimes.
Yes,
yeah,
they happen in sports. So it's part of the game, and you know, the team just got to learn to adapt and keep playing and fight through it. So.
Lancaster and Summit, you think the 2 teams to beat this year?
Lancaster returns 4 of the 5 starters from the state championship last year, so I would say they would be the team to beat. But the second team would probably be Lake Ridge. They have a lot of length, a lot of guys returning from last year's team, and I think they'll be probably the second, and we'll be right there with them fighting for second, third place, I believe, this year.
Coach, who are you counting on this year to fill some roles?
I have 3 or 4 seniors. Josh Parrish, 6'4" seniors, getting heavily recruited by a lot of Big 12 SEC schools. Chris Royal will be a 6'4" senior as well, getting some D1, D2 looks. And CJ Obenois will be my other senior that we'll count on this year. And plus we have a lot of good underclassmen as well. So I think we have 8 returners from last year's team. So all 8 of those guys we'll count on for this season.
Coach, the biggest thing between now and the season opener that you're really trying to get across to your team?
Leadership. We lost one of our leaders to injury, and he was the vocal leader, so we've been working on leadership all off season, just trying to get those guys to be leaders, and leaders in the classroom, leaders in the community, leaders on their team, and that's our main thing, is just finding that leader for everybody to follow. They tend to want to just follow the coaches all the time, but they want the kids to step up and be leaders and have their teammates follow, and I think that we can be very successful.
Finally, Coach, Courtney's playing in 3 new tournaments this year. How about your tournament schedule?
Tournament-wise, we're going to play in the Arlington Classic, December 3rd through the 5th. Then we'll go to Houston for a tournament down in Aldine. We'll get to play in the Campbell Center. And then at Christmas times, we're going to get to play in the prestigious Whataburger tournament at Christmas. So the first time we've ever been in, first time we have been in since 2006, I believe. Last time they got in, and they actually won it that year. So we finally got a chance to go back, and I'm excited about it, and the kids are excited about it. Get to stay home for Christmas.
Yeah, that's kind of a change. Well, Coach, good luck this year to the Cougars. Courtney, good luck to the Lady Cougs. It's always fun to follow us again.
Thank you.
Here's our AISD-TV schedule this year. We tip off on January 5th, Seguin and Lake Ridge. All these games are doubleheaders. On the 8th, we're at Arlington for Sam Houston. On the 12th, we'll travel to Martin for the Bowie contest. A double dip on the 19th at Mansfield Summit with Seguin. January 22nd, we're at Arlington for the Pascal doubleheader. At Martin on the 26th for Lamar. We'll see the Vikings and the Bowie Volunteers on the 29th. And we close out February 9th, Sam Houston and Weatherford. All right, that's our preview of all 6 high schools, both girls and boys. If you can, get out and support your favorite school because it's great competitive entertainment. We'll see you next time on Conversations.